Hello, everyone. My name is Roger Lopez. I'm a technical marketing manager at Red Hat, along with my colleague Anshul Bell. And today our focus is going to be around migrating to the next-gen IT automation platform, Ansible Automation Platform 2. So let's dive right in. In today's agenda, we aren't going just to focus on what the migration process looks like. We're going to discuss the reasons why you want to migrate to AAP2, how to best prepare for the migration process, and finally, provide different resources that can help you with your migration journey. So let's talk a little bit about the Ansible Automation Platform 2 overview. So what does Ansible Automation Platform 2 bring to the table? It brings a better automation experience. We have new tools such as Ansible Builder, which allows developers and operators to easily create custom execution environments. We have Ansible Navigator, a utility that provides a CLI or text-based user interface to Ansible core and execution environments. We also have Ansible Lint, providing proven practices, patterns, and behaviors to your playbooks, roles, and collections that are being created. We have new ways to create automation content, more effective ways to manage the automation process, and the new AAP architecture, simplified scaling with automation mesh. What does this architecture look like? Ansible Automation Platform 2 introduces a decoupled control plane and execution plane, making it easy to scale your automation as your needs grow. Better yet, you can start as small as you need and grow without the need to change the architecture. And how is this done? With the capabilities of automation mesh. Automation mesh allows us to create peers of different execution nodes and add new execution nodes without the need to change the architecture. Not only that, but you can run your automation closer to what needs to be automated, expanding the ways you handle all forms of environments you wish to automate. AAP2 introduces new components to the platform. To just name a few, like the topology viewer, where you can now have a graphical view of what your architecture looks like right from the Ansible Automation Platform 2 dashboard. We have a new chain of custody feature for Ansible content. The goal here is to provide end-to-end content signing and distribution. We also have Automation Services Catalog on-premise, something new that we haven't had before. And all of this is supported on RHEL 8 as well as RHEL 9. Now let's focus on reasons why now is a good time to migrate to Ansible Automation Platform 2. But first, let's recap why we want to move to the new platform. With a new architecture, improved tools, and performance, Ansible Automation Platform offers IT organizations the ability to bridge the data center with modern cloud services and more. It will help you build, manage, and scale automation in any environment with consistency. And it does so by leveraging the latest features like automation mesh and execution environments. So let's look at the top 5 reasons why we want to migrate. Reason 1, automate what you want where you need it. With the new designed architecture, we are now able to separate the control plane from the execution plane. This new design is a big step from the previous Ansible Towers architecture, because it simplified scaling across geographies and provided flexibility on the design of how to run your automation platform. For example, the capacity of the control plane, logging, RBAC, API, and the execution plane, where you run your playbooks, could not be independently resized based on demand. As organizations expanded their automation footprint, so did the operational overhead necessary to manage multiple large Ansible Tower clusters. Aside from managing these large clusters, you also needed to provide consistent automation execution across platforms and geographies. This required operations teams to install and maintain all the necessary dependencies across the cluster. For example, when using Python virtual environments, and the associated libraries, which needed to be correctly versioned and synchronized across instances. Now with Ansible Automation Platform 2, You can easily scale by being able to independently size your automation platform environment to meet your workload needs, use your automation execution environments that can be shared across the entire organization for ease of consistency when you run your automation jobs, and use automation mesh to automate as close to what you're trying to automate as possible. Reason 2, bringing automation teams together. Automation tools are no longer the domain of specialists. Both IT operations teams and developers must now be supported as automators, but to do so requires automation technology that is easily portable, flexible, and scalable to stretch across IT footprints. Ansible Automation Platform 2 introduces the concept of automation execution environments, which are actually container images that help deliver self-contained automation content and their dependencies that is easily replicated and shared across an organization. Combine automation execution environments with features such as Ansible Automation Hub to store those execution environments, and Ansible content collections, which are published within Ansible Automation Hub, making it easier than ever for automation to be shared across teams, while combining that with Red Hat Insights to gather real-time analytics and reporting. Reason 3, new tools for a seamless enterprise experience. Those tools are Ansible Builder, Ansible Navigator, and Ansible Lint. These new tools make building and deploying automation a more efficient experience between automation developers, creators, and IT operations teams. Ansible Builder is a command line tool that builds containerized Ansible environments. It helps automation creators and operators build and distribute execution environments with the exact Ansible content their jobs need, allowing those execution environments to be shared and used in a repeatable and reliable way. Ansible Navigator is a top-level platform interface for automation creators and developers. It can be used as a command line interface or a TUI, a text user-based interface, and is bundled with Ansible Automation Platform 2. This interface helps automators maintain operational consistency across their systems, from developer workstations to staging platforms to production. And finally, Ansible Lint. Ansible Lint is a command line tool for linting playbooks, roles, and collections. The main purpose of Ansible Lint is to ensure the best practices within your playbooks, roles, and collections are used to avoid common pitfalls that can easily lead to bugs or make code harder to maintain. It also helps users upgrade their code when working with newer versions of Ansible. Reason 4, performance. Automation Controller 4.1 delivers significant performance improvements compared to Ansible Tower 3.8.5. Jobs run 22% faster, job processing is 23% faster, job cleanups are 98% faster, and gathering analytics is 60% faster. And then finally, we have reason 5, automation mesh, one of the most important new features in Ansible Automation Platform 2, which allows automation at scale across the open hybrid cloud. Automation mesh includes a built-in overlay network that provides flexibility in deploying distributed, remote, or otherwise complex automation deployments with a security-first approach by bringing automation closer to where you need it. It simplifies the operations by removing the need of tools such as chump hosts and SSH proxies, and automatically determines the best route to run your automation jobs, and a scalable architecture by design. This scalability provides you with the flexibility and resiliency without sacrificing security features, so you can better adopt and scale automation. And with that, to recap the 5 reasons that now is a good time to automate to Ansible Automation Platform 2, we have automate what you want where you need to, which gives you an updated architecture that separates the control plane and execution plane, providing flexibility and scalability. Reason number 2, bringing automation teams together. automation execution environments that can be easily replicated and shared across an organization. Reason 3, gain new tools for better automation experiences. Ansible Builder, Ansible Navigator, Ansible Lint. Reason 4, significantly improved performance. We saw jobs run 22% faster with Automation Controller than they did with Ansible Tower. And reason 5, unlock new areas to scale up and scale out. Automation Mesh with its flexibility and scalability capabilities. Now, I'm going to hand it off to the very talented Anshul Bell to talk about ways to prepare for the migration and describe the migration process in detail. So take us away.
Thank you, Roger. I am Anshul Behel. I am a technical marketing manager with Ansible, alongside Roger in the technical marketing team at Ansible. Like Roger explained, I will also touch briefly on how Ansible Automation Platform 2 truly helps you. So Ansible Automation Platform 2 is truly a culmination of how enterprise automators automate for today and tomorrow. It is no longer just an upstream command line Ansible package with support, nor is the platform just a graphical user interface for Ansible. Ansible remains the foundation of the platform, but the platform also includes a whole suite of tools that lets you build, scale, manage automation for your enterprise seamlessly. As you plan your migration to Ansible Automation Platform 2, the next slides provide ways you can prepare for a smoother transition. So wave 1, firstly, you need to assess your current environment. Understand and analyze your current Ansible Automation Platform 1 or Ansible Tower 3.8 installation, including current deployment patterns, integrations, and other complexities relevant to migration. Determine changes needed in your environment to meet the Ansible Automation Platform 2 technical requirements. We'll discuss these more later, like introduction of automation mesh and automation execution environments. Assess the stakeholder readiness to execute migration and adopt the new version of the platform. And finally, ensure compliance, security policy enforcement, and auditing. Way 2, identify technical barriers. So let's discuss the extensive list of technical requirements. I'll touch upon each of the features briefly to help you understand how they affect your migration strategy. So number 1, isolated nodes have been converted to automation mesh. So isolated nodes was a feature of Ansible Automation Platform 1. They were essentially headless Ansible Tower nodes that can be used for local execution capacity. They have been replaced by the nodes in the automation mesh network. Automation mesh is an overlay network with pairing capabilities. Mesh provides fault tolerance, redundancy via peering capabilities, and it can distribute automation closer to the location where it's needed. This is important for migration as it can help you decide how you want to design your platform network to unlock the full potential of the automation mesh. Second, PostgreSQL 10 to PostgreSQL 12 or 13. The version of Postgres used by the automation controller has changed from Postgres 10 to 12 or 13 with RHEL 9 and Ansible Automation Platform 2.2. This is a blocking condition for the migration. The platform installer will take care of this upgrade, but if you are using an external database with the platform, you will need to assess this technical requirement first. Third, not using collections to collections in use. So it is recommended that you change your playbooks used in Ansible Tower 3.8 to using collections now. This is not a blocking condition, but this change will help you understand and adopt the platform in a seamless way. As other features like execution environments and private automation hub, the usage of those are connected to content collections. Number 4, using local host in playbook to redesigning your playbooks. With Ansible Automation Platform 2, all automation execution happens through execution environments. So the idea of local host connection means that execution will happen inside the execution environment for that job. As execution environments are container and containers are ephemeral in nature, this means that the execution environment lifespan is valid for job execution only. And if any of your current playbooks expect to use backed up files from Tower node or performing backups on the Tower node itself, those playbooks will start producing unexpected results. Fifth, standalone Ansible engine to Ansible core 2.9, or really automation execution environments. Automation controller use execution environments to execute automation with Ansible Automation Platform 2. Different execution environments can contain different versions of Ansible core in combination with different collections and their dependencies. This is a change from Ansible Tower, which used standalone Ansible package for execution, which included Ansible Engine plus all the third-party modules. So usage of execution environments gives more flexibility and the ability to distribute your own Ansible execution for your organization. Sixth, custom inventory scripts to inventory plugins. The ability to add custom inventory scripts in the graphical user interface has changed to defining an inventory script in source control management. Ansible Automation Platform 2 also includes a set of common inventory plugins. RHEL 7 to RHEL 8 or RHEL 9. By RHEL, I mean Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So this is a blocking condition to migrate to Ansible Automation Platform 2, and an important technical factor to look out before planning your migration, because Ansible Automation Platform 2 is based on RHEL 8 or RHEL 9. Python virtual environments to automation execution environments. Ansible Tower used Python virtual environments for dependency management. This has changed to the usage of Ansible execution environments, which serve as the foundation of execution layer in Ansible Automation Platform 2. You will need to factor in the creation and usage of execution environment for your organization and how they will be distributed. Several execution environment images are baked into the platform, like 2.9, minimal, and supported execution environments. But you can create your own based on your needs by using the Ansible Builder CLI tool that comes with the Ansible Automation Platform. Ansible execution environments can be distributed via private automation hub, which acts as a container registry and can be used as the default registry to supply execution environments to the automation controller, as well as to download execution environments to the individual user machine to create automation content against or using Ansible Navigator. We have also explained a way to convert Python virtual environments to automation execution environments in the migration reference architecture. We'll cover that in the resources section. Third way, prepare your team. You should perform a cost-benefit analysis that factors initial costs, ongoing savings, and increased revenue. Look at the technical barriers. These can be anything from infrastructure availability to change in deployment patterns. Identify external and internal stakeholders and establish their availability. Stakeholders can be automation developers as well as ops team using automation. They all need to be aware of changes that come with the migration. Conduct a risk analysis to understand effects on the business. Decide on time frame, milestones, and deliverables. Assess the change management and training needed for stakeholders. This training can be training on using new tools like Ansible Builder for execution environment building, and the change from Ansible Playbook CLI to using use of Ansible Navigator. Okay, let's jump to the actual upgrade process to Ansible Automation Platform 2. Migration process uses a side-by-side method that uses the Ansible Automation Platform installer to do the backup, restore, and upgrade. One of the main reasons we decided to implement a side-by-side migration for Ansible Automation Platform 1 to 2 is to provide really two things. This method ensures that the original environment was left intact as expected, and it allows or provides the customer with the time and not feel rushed on their move to Ansible Automation Platform 2. There are different phases to this migration, like we discussed. There's a backup phase, there's a restore phase, and there's an upgrade phase. In the backup phase, we perform a database backup of your original Ansible Tower environment, and it is stored as a backup tarball. In the restore phase, we deploy a new Ansible Tower or Ansible Automation Platform 1 and restore it with a copy of backup from the original environment. And we do that as the base OS as the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. This will restore all the job and job run logs to the new Ansible Tower environment. And finally, in the upgrade phase, you can now run the upgrade on the new environment using the Ansible Automation Platform 2 installer and the new inventory. This slide gives a detailed picture representation of the side-by-side upgrade process. On the left block, you will see Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 with Ansible Automation Platform 1 and Postgres 10. The database backup direction shows the backup phase, which creates a backup tarball. The database restore direction on the right side or the right block shows the restore phase to the new Ansible Automation Platform 1 instance and the Ansible Tower environment. This time, the base OS is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. And the trigger upgrade shows the upgrade phase where you use the Ansible Automation Platform 2 installer with the new inventory to deploy Ansible Automation Platform 2. This changes database from Postgres 10 to Postgres 12 and upgrades the Ansible Tower nodes to automation controller nodes with the mesh network. So now you have done the upgrade or upgraded your platform. It is time to look at other questions you need to consider for your organization. You need to look at content promotion workflows. Like, what automation execution environment fits my model? Will there be one execution environment or multiple one that fits my model? You need to look at the platform adoption questions. You also need to look at execution environment lifecycle management. How should you manage the lifecycle of an execution environment? How will you distribute the execution environment definition files for your organization? Then you also need to understand the platform lifecycle management question. When will you upgrade your platform? How will you add more execution nodes to your platform? Or how will you add more control nodes to your platform? All of these questions you need to consider once. That will basically factor in the ongoing cost for maintaining the new version of the platform. And with that, we'll do a recap of how we basically looked at the ways to migrate. First, we assessed your current environment. Then we identified the technical barriers to move to Ansible Automation Platform 2. Then we prepared the team or understood really what it means to migrate to Ansible Automation Platform 2 for different stakeholders. Then we got your automation content ready to move, or we did the migration from Ansible Automation Platform 1 to 2. And then we integrate the new platform into your existing workflows. So we'll now look at the resources and next steps. On the Red Hat subscription, with the Red Hat subscription, you will see the Red Hat customer portal. And on the customer portal, we really have two resources alongside the documentation from Automation Platform 2. You will see a Ansible Automation Platform 2 homepage, which includes frequently asked questions, to reference architectures, to really a lot of blogs on different tools were really added to the Ansible Automation Platform 2, which lets you understand how you can know about the platform, what changes have come in, and how you can basically adopt the new version of the platform. There's an upgrade assistant tool, which basically tells you if you give it a version of your current platform that you're on, and then you give it a target version, it will tell you all the details that you need to consider, like we are explaining you right now. Then we have a really good resource on reference as a reference architecture. We call it the migration reference architecture. It specifically targets Ansible Automation Platform 1.2 to Ansible Automation Platform 2 migration. So the idea is we take a reference architecture or we take a reference deployment of Ansible Automation Platform 1, and we'll show you in that reference architecture how we were able to successfully change that to Ansible Automation Platform 2. Then you should look at Ansible blogs. It's a really good resource on what changes are coming onto the platform. And it also tells you all the insider tweets into basically how we are using the Ansible Automation Platform and what new things you can do with the new version of the platform and all the tools that comes with it. There is another great resource called Self-Paced Labs. We, as the Ansible technical marketing team, we built a lot of self-paced labs on the different tools that were introduced with Ansible Automation Platform 2. Like, for example, we talked about Ansible Builder. There is a lab on Ansible Builder. We talked about Ansible Navigator. There's a lab on Ansible Navigator as well. There is a lab on Private Automation Hub. There is a lab on the Automation Mesh Network. So you'll find a lot of self-paced labs where you can basically go at your own pace and look at what these features actually mean and how they affect you and how you can basically take benefit from these new features that were introduced with Ansible Automation Platform 2. And finally, this brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.